Hey guys, what's up? Forgot to do something in this video. I said I was actually gonna rank all the killers from best to worst, or worst to best, or one or the other. I ended up not doing that, but if you guys want to see me rank all the killers from worst to best, let me know down in the comments. I'll do that next video. Anyway guys, enjoy the video.
Jump up, kick back, whip around and spin, and then we'll jump back to it again. Ninja, ninja, come on, to the weekend whip. Ninja, ninja, come on, into the weekend whip.
Hey guys, Bunny's here. So today I'm doing something a little bit different. I am making a, tier list. So we got the Trapper. So his trap ability, as you guys know, he puts bear traps on the ground. Simple as that, right? Thing is, survivors can disarm and destroy them, but if you don't pay enough attention, you're guaranteed dead. Because there's no way he's not gonna get to you in time. So he's going on the good side. So we got Wraith now. So if you guys know, the Wraith, he can go invisible. And every time he goes uninvisible, he gets a speed boost. So unless you somehow just either get bamboozled or you stink at playing him, he is almost impossible to knock down someone with. But any good player can take him out of the invisibility with a flashlight or a pallet, so he's only going to go into amazing. Now we got Hillbilly. So this guy is technically easy to play. That's what the difficulty says. His chainsaw dash isn't like, what we'll see with him later. If you look at my cursor, the thing about him is you have to be good at using him to use it right. So he's gonna go on the mediocre side because not many players are good at using his ability right, because it's a dash across the map, not swinging it at a survivor. Okay, now we're just gonna put Nurse here because you've got to be really, really good at Nurse to make her good. And we got Hag. The thing about, before we go to Hag, the thing about it is, Nurse is a good killer, but if you don't use her correctly, even if you make one mistake, she can suck. Which is why she's only going there. But any good player knows how to use her right, and that's minimum. Now we got so now we got the Hag. The thing is, you don't see this killer often, and not many people play them. The people that play him know how to play him. So the thing is, there's multiple playstyles for the Hag. Use your phantasm traps, as they're called, hexes. Use it on generators, or just randomly, sporadically put them on the map with the Trapper. Now, so if we're going randomly across the map, it go there. On generators, it go here, and on hexes, it go here. So I'm gonna put her in good, just because most players don't tend to know what to do with her traps. But if you know how to use them right, you go here. Now we get the Doctor, and just gonna put him there real quick. Because the thing about the Doctor is, every Doctor knows what to do in this situation when playing Doctor. You can't stun a Doctor. The thing is, if you can stun a Doctor, you're trash. But every Doctor knows his ability is OP. Mind you, I'm basing this off the players and how they use them the most, and as well as their ability itself. Alright, so we got Doctor simply there. His ability is really strong. He makes survivors scream whenever he uses his static blast, which is like a shock therapy to the head, and his other thing, shock therapy, or I don't remember what it's called, I believe it's shock therapy. If you hit someone with it, they can't vault, they can't pull a pallet, they can't be dead hard, they can't do anything. So he's OP. Now we got Huntress. And yeah, she can just chuck axes at you. Simple as that. That's all she's got to. And yeah, I'm gonna do that. Okay, so now we got Michael. Now it pains me to say this, but he's not a god tier killer. And he's my main, that's why it pains me to say it. The only reason why he's not a god tier killer is because it's really easy to counter certain Michaels, where, like, jump scare Michael and his and Infinite Tier 3 are almost incounterable. If they play Michael normally, it's just like playing against a trapper without the traps. So, but he is a map controlling killer. Like, he definitely, and as well as he can make survivors almost scared because you don't see him. If you're going against a good Michael, he goes here or here, but in general, he's just gotta go there. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Don't kill me for this. Not even mean to say why. If you've played Dead by Daylight, you know why I'm putting him there. I'll explain though. Chainsaw. Simple as that. Chainsaw, that's OP. And the way he does it is OP. So now we are at Freddy Krueger. So the thing about Freddy Krueger, after this I'll quickly go through and rank them from worst to best. Just go say their names from worst to best. Now we got Freddy Krueger. So the thing is, unlike most of these killers we've already seen so far, and actually most of the killers we see later on, this guy drastically relies on perks that you will. So if you don't use the right perks, or you have no perks, he's not a good killer. He's not just a good killer in general. He needs his perks to make him good, which is why that he's only going to go here. Trust me, with a good build, he'd be here or here, but if we look at this without their perks and just their ability, he's not a good killer. Now we got... why? The pig. So, here's the thing about the pig. Any player with no perks, no add-ons in this pig, it's not a good killer on its own without add-ons or perks. With certain add-ons, you could potentially kill a survivor with the bear trap, and with perks, you can just be in pain. But the thing is, her main other ability, her crouch lunge. So if you go on Haddonfield, there are all those houses, the basements with the generator in it. I remember once when I was playing a while ago, a pig did a lunge from outside the house and went all the way down across the room to the generator and hit me. Which is why she's gonna go here. That's just too strong, and any pig that can utilize it will. Right, now we're gonna look at Clown. So, the thing about Clown is, his ability is good, but counterable. Simply put it, the Clown needs to know what they're doing for it to be good, so he's gonna go here. The thing is, any normal average player won't know what to do when a person you throw a bottle, it slows them down, and this other bottle is really hard to figure out how to use. Not many clowns use it. I mean, I don't, my main clown. So, the thing about Clown is he's, as we call it, like with Doctor, an anti-looper. He stops people from looping, and the only problem is, any clown that doesn't know what they're doing literally is useless. Thing is, you have to be really, really good at Clown to utilize his ability correctly. And if we look at this as the average player, he's going trash. Now if we look at these as the average player, they all kind of belong. Like average player, they don't know how to use this right. Same here and same here. Same, these two, pretty average. And these take some skill, but average players know how to use them well if they played them. And, these just killers, their abilities are so good it won't matter. Just gonna move on. Just kidding. So the thing about Spirit is, any Spirit knows what they're doing, it makes it almost impossible for a group of survivors to get any generation. So she has this thing called Spirit/Phase Walk. She phases in and out of the material plane that we exist in. It's kind of like going to the upside down almost. She can't see us. She can see our scratch marks, and that's it. And any spirit you can get across the entire map with no add-ons, mind you, using this ability. So it makes Gen Patrol way too easy. Makes Exit Patrol way too easy. And as well, is, in general, it's hard to loop the spirit because they'll just run in the spirit wall. But now we got Legion. Now, if this was back when public test beta Legion, he'd go here, or early Legion when it was released. He's not. So originally, if you guys didn't know, Legion, if you were to hit a survivor, you'd put him in a mending state, a broken state, or whatever it is. State where they have to mend their wounds, otherwise they bleed out to death. But if you kept hitting that survivor over and over again, it went down, so you could potentially just kill all four and like snap your fingers. But they fixed that now. If you hit a survivor twice, it does nothing to the survivor, just gives them a speed boost, and it puts you out of lethal rush, or feral frenzy, as it's actually called. I just call it lethal rush because I play a lot of blood, I guess. But any killer that can utilize this ability correctly would be definitely here or here, especially with a good perk loadout. But if the average player, he's gotta go good. We got Plague. Okay. She's one of the few killers that can make a survivor guaranteed injure without swinging them. Besides Huntress and Trickster, but they throw something at him, she does something else. She pukes on you. I mean, if we're just talking about as a meme, she'd go here because of the freaking nickname every survivor gives her. But in the case of an average player who's using her for the first time, what you do with Plague is there's multiple strategies. You either A, puke on survivors, puke on objects, and chase them and hit them. Let them cleanse themselves and use the Corrupt Purge, so when you puke on them, they can't heal, not being healed by someone. Because it's, instead of making them sick, it injures them. Or you play like most Plagues play, where you vomit on them until they get the broken status effect, so they just injures them and they can't heal without cleansing themselves, and then you just swing at them. If we're going with that strategy, it's definitely here, but the other strategy is like probably here, so we'll put her here. Quick, I'm gonna just do this. The thing about Ghostface is he's a counter looper because he can suppress his red light and tail radius whenever he wants. Whenever it's recharged. And he's not God tier. No way he's God tier, but any player that doesn't know how to use Ghostface correctly would just be playing like Michael. But if you know how to use him differently, his ability is to stalk an individual survivor, make them exposed, or marked, as it's called, and they're exposed until their meter runs out. But it's not like when Michael levels him up, the survivor gets exposed, they get stalked. And any Ghostface that's good at it can definitely ruin a survivor's game by just being too good. But any Ghostface that really isn't good at it would go here. But an average player tends to be around here. Okay. Now, I'm going to hate myself for playing this. Okay, I'm talking about these as players, mind you. Players who play them, and they're based on their ability, it looks just about right. His ability's good, Ghostface, but it's really but you can counter it by just looking at him. Legion is just not as strong as it used to be. Hag, it's got to be used correctly. And same with Trapper, you got to use it correctly. Freddy, his normal abilities on its own are terrible. Nurses, it's really hard to use. Hillbilly, same. Clown, if used improperly, it's useless. Plague, if used, it's pretty well. It's used pretty well. It's good. Her lunge is OP. Michael's ability is pretty easy to learn. Wraith, and then these three I've explained. Now I'm gonna hate myself for doing this because I play Demogorgon a lot, but he's actually gonna go here. So here's the thing: any Demogorgon that knows what they're doing has a different strategy. My strategy is portals on gens, open them up, and then use my shred to see where they're at. Power of the abyss or whatever. Of the abyss. But the thing is, on an average player, someone playing it for the first time, they're not going to do anything. The Demogorgon's abilities are, his shred is just kind of like Leatherface's chainsaw, but it's a straightforward lunge and it just one hit. It doesn't down you instantly. It should, but it doesn't. And his portals are used as a transportation thing, but survivors can close the portals, so if not used with a proper build, add-ons, as well as a proper player, on the average player side, he's trash. Sorry, man. I'm sorry. He's my main, too. He's one of my mains. Michael, Demogorgon, and probably Hillbilly are my three most mains at the moment. I played a lot of Wraith, but I just prestiged him, and same with Doctor, but I just don't play him much anymore. Now we got Oni. He's just good. He's nowhere near amazing or god tier, but he's not mediocre or trash. Thing is, Oni in the right hands can screw over a group of sweaty survivors. But if we're looking at this as the average player, no one who's sweaty really hard and mains this killer and is just playing for the first time, he's not easy to learn. Most killers who are learning him play him like if they were playing in the like trap. They just loop, and swing. But his special ability, his special ability can one-shot survivors. If you charge up his Demon Strike fully, he has a forward lunge and slams down his club. It's a one-shot. When I first played him, I found that out myself. It was pretty OP. His Demon Dash, any killer that knows what they're doing can dash across the entire map and down a survivor. Because it's Demon Strike, but you dash forward and then drop it. So, but it also, you need to hit a survivor first before you can get this ability, because you gotta collect your blood orbs. So, he's just good. And, okay, watch. You knew this was gonna happen. So, the thing is about Death Slinger is he's got a gun. So the thing about Death Slinger that makes him so god tier, even to players like me who don't play him much, when you shoot, the thing is, you shoot a gun, right? Yeah. Now, obviously, unlike other games, it's not a hits game. You gotta, anticipate their movement. But any Death Slinger that's good at doing that, and even an average player, it's pretty OP because it's got... Okay, so we're thinking about this. It's got about the size of the Killer Shack or more range on it. So from one corner to the corner in front of it, it can go, I think, a little bit farther than that. Or even maybe a lot farther, I'm not sure. But it's pretty OP. It's got range on it, and then he reels the survivor in and guarantees himself a hit. And the thing is, if you break the chain, you get hurt and get put into a mending state anyway. So it's pretty OP. Now my friend Rexy here is gonna hate me for doing this, but the thing about Pyramid Head is an average player wouldn't know how to use it, really at all. Then his ability is putting the stuff on the ground. It's called the Rites of Judgment, I believe. So if you step in it, you get barbed wire all over you, and if he downs you, he can put you in the Cage of Atonement, or if he downs you for the final time, he can just kill you with your final judgment. But it's not easy to use that correctly. You gotta use it correctly. That's why you don't see many people playing him, because it's not an easy killer to play. Trust me, I am good at Pyramid Head. I would know. Now, if we look at his other ability, his long range, Punishment of the Damned, I think is what it's called. I don't need to bleep that out because that's just playing a game move. So don't flame me. If you can increase the range on that with an add-on, it's really OP, but otherwise, you gotta time it perfectly or you won't hit it. Now, we got Blight, and I'm going to put him up in God tier for one reason. Simply put, that even though it's his hard killer to play, it's really not hard to learn. I played Blight 2 games, and I figured him out pretty much instantaneously. Now to master him takes a long time. To be good with him, not at all. And an average player playing Blight tends to get around 2 kills. His ability is the Lethal Rush. So he runs and slams into a wall, and he gets to do this 5 times. But the second to final time, he can hit you. So he's got range. And the thing is, he runs at you, and he runs for a good time too. But he's definitely a god tier player, killer. now. Yeah, I'm gonna put twins here as well. So the thing about twins is, I'm just gonna actually just, no, I know where I'm putting them. The thing about twins that's super OP, is the fact that, so her twin brother Victor, they're conjoined twins, is if they're good at an average player, what he does is you go into Victor, you charge up, and you pounce on top of a survivor, and they have to rip them off, to do it. And if you're chasing a survivor and they rip them off, they stop and throw them to the ground rather than throwing them to the ground and continue running. As well as most twins, especially people that are smart, and even idiots for that matter, they'll go the minimum distance away from a hook before summoning Victor, just so if someone pulls them off, they can easily switch back. It's really OP. It's just any killer, even average killer, knows how to use it. Now, y'all know why Trickster's in the trash category, if you've ever played DBD and seen this killer. I'll elaborate though. So his knives, in my opinion, and I'm pretty sure objectively, to be honest, at this point, are too weak. So he throws knives at you, but he's got to stick 8 in your back to injure you. It's either 8 or 9. I'm not sure if it's 8 to fill and 1 more to finish, or if it's 7 to fill and 8 to finish it off. And he's a slower killer, obviously. He's as fast as Huntress, 4.4. But the thing is, he is terrible gen patrol as a killer. He just has no perks as well as he's just not a good killer for it. And most times you see a Trickster, they're gonna tunnel, and to be honest, that's really almost the only way they're gonna actually kill all 4. I've killed all 4 with Trickster before, but I had to use a specific add-on for this. It just didn't work. But anyway, guys, that was my killer tier list. If you do disagree with any of these, leave it down in the comments below where you would put all of your killers. Any killers you disagree with, put them where. But anyway, guys, this is it for me. But I would like to remind you, if you want to see more tier lists, I actually like doing this. It was actually a lot of fun. Please leave a comment down below asking me. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video. See you later, Gamers. Peace.